I used to feel so devastated. At times I thought we never make it. But now we on our way to greatness. And all that.
Hey yo, it's Twizzie, what's good? Today we're gonna be talking about Joey Bada's latest album. It's called the Amerikkkan Badass. We got a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. Subscribe. Now, Before the Money was one of my favorite records in 2015. There was a lot of eyes on Joey dropping his first commercial project, especially after the successful mixtapes of 99, Summer Nights, and some of his pro-era collabs. That year, he got a lot of mainstream attention and was introduced to a lot of new fans while still keeping that golden era steez that people already know him for. In the last year though, he's been flexing his style more, getting up on features, doing some more of the new age beats, showing that, you know, he's not only the boom bap kid and that, you know, he could do party music as well. Based on his interviews and single leading up to this, I was a bit worried, not gonna lie, that he might try to do too much lyrically. How do I put this? I just didn't want him to be a political rapper. The opening Good Morning America is a nice smooth intro. Yo, his flow is always top notch from the get-go. His maturity and his more conscious style is definitely showcased. Gives you a sense of what to expect for the rest of the album. Now, before we go ahead and talk about the rest of the tracks, let me get into the theme a little bit here. There's definitely a lot of rappers these days on that F Donald Trump tip. You know, rap has become very rebellious in the last few months, and a lot of eye-openers to what's going on not just in the USA but the whole world, you know, with racism, discrimination, religious differences, war violence, black oppression, etc. The artist and album that sticks out to me though, I feel that did justice on speaking on these issues while at the same time staying true to the root of their sound and staying lit, was T.I. on his Us or Else project. I feel that Joey is on the same track as well because he's heavy on these topics while at the same time, you know, he delivers them in a tasteful manner. He doesn't sound too preachy or kind of have a news reporter, journalist swag, and you know, the album stays a fun listen. I get that we're in this era of hip-hop, you know, a lot more like the 90s where it's very rebellious and more of a let's make a movement with rap records, and you know, I love that. I mean, even lyrically alone, I can relate with depression more than, you know, expensive cars, kicking it with Kevin Hart, or a champagne pool full of bitches. With that said, I still like my Travis Scotts and my Kodak Blacks, so I was hoping that Joey just didn't go all out politically focused, because who wouldn't want another Big Dusty or Hayes' View banger, right? Another thing he's improved on though is his ability to write a good hook. Temptation, good song, has him singing on what sounds like he's talking to Lord about, you know, how do I avoid all this temptation? I live a young, lavish, reckless lifestyle. Now, I wasn't too hype about the single Land of the Free when it first came out, but I think what it did do well is that it gave everyone a heads up on what Joey was going to try to bring lyrically on this album. So while it's not one of my favorite songs on the album, it was definitely a good marketing single, and it was preparing for fans to what to expect in All-American. Now I also feel like there's a lot of J. Cole influence in this album, yo. Like, when I heard that J. Cole was going to be featured on this album, I didn't know which track it was going to be, and I heard Devastated. I thought this is the one that he was going to be on. This is a very nice track. Just got that Cole bounce on it and that singy style that would have gone well with Joey's as he sings, you know, I used to feel so devastated. At times I feel I'd never make it. Song's lit. Why You Don't Love Me. Okay, now this is an interesting one. It has, first of all, it has beautiful production on this. Joey takes this creative approach of talking about America like he has a relationship with it, like the lover is the metaphor, and she mistreats him. I thought that it was a nice idea, but I also didn't think it was as crazy as people were bigging it up to be. Everyone was hyping me about, yo, you gotta listen to this, it has a crazy twist. Listen, if y'all remember Common's I Used to Love Her, where he uses her as the metaphor for hip-hop that he loves so much, but it was changing on him. That song was so well executed, and the comparisons were, most of all, you wouldn't fully understand the premise of the song until you get to the last verse, unless you know what the song is about ahead of time already, where he reveals that he's talking about hip-hop, which made for a very exciting twist. With the way Joey approached Why You Don't Love Me, I just thought it was too obvious, but at the same time, he doesn't really take different angles to compare it to a relationship to make that bridge. He's just talking about why you always pulling my ladder, why you steal my thunder. I think he could have taken, you know, different angles, like talked about when he was still in love with her, or in love with the country and proud of everything it represents, or the country started changing on him when Donald Trump got elected, and compare that to like, oh, she found a new guy. You know, like, as good as the song is, I just didn't find it to be as compelling as I wish it would be, regardless of how good the idea is. I'm big on Schoolboy Q, man, to the point where I started putting his name on my artists that, you know, influenced my sound list on my bio and everything. I was very satisfied with Rockabye, baby. That goes hard. And I also like hearing Joey get on that kind of gutter flow that he used to have on Summer Nights. Ring the Alarm also go hard as fuck. This is a pro era showcase with Kirk Knight. I got a lot of love for him, and it's featuring Flatbush Zombies as well. And these boys, I think they're just underrated dudes. Super Predator is my favorite beat on this, man. Salute Static Selector. There's definitely a lot of beat switches and variations throughout the album, which I definitely enjoyed. Yo, but this song right here, Babylon, I love this one, okay? From the beat and how Joey does the singing, intro to the more aggressive flow on the verses. He goes in on this screw the system rampage while the beat stays so smooth and groovy while he delivers his most passionate verse to date, I think. It's one of those things that get you really riled up while listening to it. If Black Lives really mattered, then you ninjas would do something. Yeah, that sounded really corny, but what can a Filipino guy do going in depth with hip-hop rap reviews, right? You know what I mean. Legendary though, fam. I wasn't as big about it. I was definitely hyped into it. Not saying that it was a bad song by any means, but I was just so overly excited hearing that J. Cole was gonna be in this, and a J. Cole Joey Badass was just like, you know, dream collaboration. Especially after hearing that this is J. Cole's maybe last feature. I was just expecting him to really kill it. And he does have a very thoughtful verse and delivered well, just like any J. Cole song. He does the whole kind of just talking monotone flow, and I just really wanted him to go off. Joey's verse wasn't bad as well, but you know, that didn't blow me away, and the hook didn't really do anything for me. I just personally feel like neither of them really relished in this opportunity, because this collaboration, they could have made a classic. Fight me if I'm wrong. I love J. Cole. American Idol, I thought this was a dope track. I didn't see it much of a closer. He goes in heavy on corrupt politics and negative stereotypes. I also like how he put in that "I'm out for dead presidents to represent me" classic line. So listen, man, while Joey dives into this anti-Trump rebellious tip, he doesn't really say anything that sparks conversations that I've not had before. You know, I love his flow. I'm nodding my head in agreement with every line he says. He rhymes with character and so much passion in his delivery, but he just didn't spit anything to me that stirred the brain like, oh, I didn't think of it that way, or that's an interesting way to put it. It keeps me mentally conscious and, you know, reminds you of what's going on around the world. Yes, when it comes down to it though, I do see it as a comfort. Listening to Joey Badass, I can enjoy it and still think, you know, Joey cares, he's aware, he's speaking up more, which is definitely a positive. Fact of the matter is, feel free to argue with me in this all you want, but he's no Kendrick, let alone Tupac. And I know that those are misguided comparisons, especially that this is only a 22-year-old guy on his second LP, but these are comparisons that people are making and Joey himself is saying. Right now, I feel like Amerikkkan Badass is an excellent appetizer for the Kendrick album to come, which I thought that Kendrick was gonna drop on the same day, but I don't know what happened. I kind of like that Kendrick pushed it back to 1 week later, because now they don't have to like fight on sales. These two probably have a lot of mutual respect for one another, and this gives Joey Badass its week to really relish in the shine. Fact, I wrote this review last week around Monday, and I have still not heard the new Kendrick album. I'm only recording it now, April 17, but damn, it's definitely gonna be next. So yeah, you know, I enjoyed this thoroughly. The production is straight goodness, if I didn't already say it so many times. I loved every beat on this. He had a good mix of that boom bap and a little new age. Joey's always improving, getting deadlier with the pen, I might add. He's making himself more aware with a bigger presence. Features were kept in a good number, all killers, with just a slight underwhelming one for J. Cole. J. Cole is one of my top 3 right now, man, so my expectations might have just been on a different level. But it's definitely good to hear Joey Bad's ample growth. You know, Before the Money was such a hard one to top, which I still think is the better album than this one, but Joey drops a nice follow-up, avoiding the sophomore slump. I give it a 3.7 out of 5. So what did you think of Amerikkkan Badass? Let me know in the comments below. What points do you agree with? Where am I completely wrong at? And as always, I'm still early, looking to improve on this, so if you could do me a favor, hit subscribe and let me know what I can work on, whether it's my presentation and technique or what sorts. Thank you so much for watching. I am Twizzie and I am out. Yo, check out this Bulls hat though, man. I found it at a garage sale. It's nice.
I ain't waiting on your turn, I'ma turn. This ain't no FF tactics. About to rush past you like Danica Patrick. You about to feel what a panic attack is. Got the cheese on the trap that's easy to rap since you the type to rat out. While I wanna drag, put them rappers in a bag, saying wanna let the cats out. Them lies ain't safe.